top of every mountain is the bottom of another. The top of every mountain is the bottom of another. Run for cover, you'll discover some will thrive and others suffer. Cause the top of every mountain is the bottom of another. Woo! Don't wait, don't hesitate. Better speak the truth, let it resonate and let it detonate and get blown away. Till you keep on rising to a higher place. Can't stop, won't stop. Don't stop coming till we hit the top. Gotta keep pushing till the day I make it. Since they won't give it to me, then I got to take it. The pain today is power tomorrow. Keep on coming, but you'll never catch me running. Cause I won't bow down. No matter what they say, I wouldn't do it any other way. Keep on coming, but you'll never catch me running. Cause I won't bow down. The top of every mountain is the bottom of another. The top of every mountain is the bottom of another. Not enough, they keep us smothered. Lower class, never the upper. Cause the top of every mountain is the bottom of.
Welcome back to another episode of Dragon Ball Gine. I am the Dragon Ball announcer, here to usher in our next chapter, which is to give an overview of what we've read so far from the first 13 chapters of this spectacular story. Here with me is the Hound of the South, Dominic Powell.
Good evening, morning, or afternoon, everyone. This is the Hound of the South, Dominic Powell, and welcome finally to tonight's episode of the Real Millennials, where as the Dragon Ball announcer mentioned earlier, where each of us going to give our overall overview of Dragon Ball Gine.
And with him is the humblest of writers, Humble Marty. Get out of
Hello,
the
I'm
way.
Humble Marty, and I rate things.
Excuse me, you'll have to repeat yourself because I had to throw away the GT announcer who tried to cockblock me.
Hello, I'm Humble Marty, and I rate things. I forgot to plug in my mic.
You have to let me get this one in, Dragon Ball announcer. I did pay my rent this time. That you did. Now let's continue today's episode, starting with Dominic Powell. Lead us on.
All right. Well, to those who have probably recently joined us, or need a refresher of what Dragon Ball Gine is, it is an alternate universe retelling of the Dragon Ball series, starting from the first like all the way to GT. The author is Existing Theory, who has posted the work on fanfiction.net, but he has also posted it on archiveofourown.org. And the inspiration for Gine is actually based on a YouTuber, Masako X, as what he does like alternate universe like scenarios of like the Dragon Ball series. And in this particular what if Gine went with Goku to Earth series, and it actually led to the creation like of Dragon Ball Gine, which is currently sitting at 79 chapters and is still going strong. And even though it is an alternate universe retelling like of the Dragon Ball series, it's not going to be the same like as the source material, because what's the point of an alternate universe if things will happen the same as it did, only with the inclusion of Gine. Otherwise, you just end up like reading or watching the source material.
Do
And
you have anything to add, Humble Marty?
I like the story.
That's it?
Well, sure. I mean, they did pretty good intro with a good hook on it. And it was kind of fun watching Gine try to navigate daily life while daily life decides to navigate her back.
If daily life like involve like facing off terrorists, demon kings, and surviving members of their species, then among other things, sure.
You really need to check this one out, dear viewers.
And of course, like the artwork that you're seeing it is hilarious. However, Raditz won't make his appearance until later in the series once we like move on from Dragon Ball to Z. And of course, Piccolo's son.
If I recall, he is still on Dragon Ball. Am I correct?
Yes. Well, no, actually, well, as mentioned earlier, no, it's currently staying at 79 chapters, so he has long since moved on from like the first series and is covering Z proper. Speaking speaking of let's see for the he's actually well for the current arc he's actually he's pretty much in the middle of the Frieza arc.
Hmm.
Ooh, that's quite. That'll be quite a read. Can you imagine? Can you imagine the fear and traumatic PTSD that would strike within Gine once he sees Frieza again?
Well, it would. Well, even though like she reveals like to excuse me, son Gohan that like even though like she did like she did participate like in like the missions like of the Saiyans where they conquered pillaged planets like and even like killing people. Like she did not enjoy it because she is not like other Saiyans. By actually having compassion or mercy, she's viewed as weak amongst her peers. However, the fact that even though like she did like to took part like in those actions, as like she has expressed remorse and wants to make amends.
We're probably denied the chance to see her go Mama Super Saiyan.
Yeah, but we're even though like we were robbed of that because her and Bardock were among like the many that were killed by Frieza. At least like through fan projects, be it like through pros, fan comics, and like fans are actually have the opportunity to actually explore like what would the world of Dragon Ball would look like if Gine survived by traveling to Earth like with Goku, who in this setting he actually kept his original name of Kakarot.
Which really fits since he didn't lose all connection to his past heritage since his mom was there.
Yeah, and he's also like is aware of what he is, but he does maintain his sense of justice, his morality, and ethics through not just Gine, but also his adopted grandfather.
Oh yeah, that's the other part I really liked about this one. Gohan actually lives,
Hmm.
and Krang gets his ass whooped.
Oh yeah, and and of course, and because of Gohan's survival, well, like in like once readers like eventually like reach like the end of this like alternate telling like of the original series, like like they like both go well Kakarot and Chi Chi like they actually named their son like after Gohan.
Mm-hmm.
And our fearless leader experiencing tech issues again. And in the meantime, I'm like, what so far? Excuse me. Almost got some, almost felt like I got something in my throat. But so, well, Marty, as a writer, like, what would you, what is your critique of Dragon Ball Gine? First, like starting out the strengths from the author exists in theory.
I think the battles are pretty planned out, but some are pretty well planned out. Like you've got your beginning, middle, and your end.
Yeah, it makes sense because
Um,
like with Dragon Ball, well, the Dragon Ball series, not just the first entry, it is an action and adventure series. So
true.
much like with Cape Fiction, like you expect action.
The one caveat I could have is sometimes the dialogue can be a little clunky.
I agree. And sometimes it hits like other times they're like ooh, no, but
But
it
then
looks like
again, the
the
story
the
was,
editor, more like the
yeah,
editor. Well, in this case, the beta reader like didn't catch that, and like while the two were going through the revision process.
I wanted to talk. I haven't beta read any of my, well, the times I've written fanfics, I haven't beta read any of them because I use them for test drives for any writing techniques I had to learn. Uh, so that usually comes with the territory.
Right. That's what the beta readers like. They feel in a position of like what the audience like would react like when reading it, because like it gives them like the insight. Whereas like he or she will formally offer like what is working, very well at the same time like gives them like a critique. They got what needs to be improved. Granted, with beta readers like they're not it's not a one to one between them and editors, especially only developmental editors.
One of my favorite ways to find out feedback is to check out the comments section.
Oh, very much. Also with both fanfiction.net and archive of our own, like the comments section really allows like the authors like to engage like with the audience, so they can gain the feedback. Yeah, sometimes while they can be like short and succinct, other times, like the comments of can actually be detailed where they act where like an audience member or two actually like gives a deep dive, on the chapter as well as the overall work. Not only
Hmm.
but shows like not only are they invested, but they also picked up they can pick it up on what is as far as the big picture of the series.
Hmm. I think the biggest picture of the series is it's following along with the plot line and seeing how it would be different with Gine in it.
Yes, yes. How well, of course, like since this is an alternate universe, like things will not turn out exactly as they did because well, Gine surviving her death, that like from the official series, it creates a butterfly effect.
True.
Yeah, that's really like one of the key things for anyone who wants to create an alternate universe fan work. Well, like, it explores like these what ifs. That's like not just like what happens like if this character or characters are survived,
I
but
also think it's important to
actually it
note there are some alternate universes that tend to just take the characters and throw the plot out of the window but keep the world building.
right
But this one is one of those that it follows along the plots of the episodes, so you're kind of
and chapters.
familiar with what it looks like, but it's also got some nice twists to it, so it's different.
Hmm. And also like expanding on not to mention expanding characters and arcs. What I do like is consider on all what you mentioned earlier that how the dialogue can be clunky in areas, and well, also like with existing theory, like he does like do a good job of really of fleshing out those like alternate universe like in subtle
Hmm.
ways such as like the development of character like with Yamcha, he's actually he he's actually able to like do more, and also also we see the full result like of like Master Roshi's training with him, Goku, and the others. Others, because in the first act of Dragon Ball Gine, like he doesn't showcase like what has happened like in Goku's like first journey. Like he actually had Goku like sure like what happened.
Hmm.
Which includes like him like losing his tail.
True.
What what the good news is it was like it does like it is like because of like how he gives like both his mom and Gohan on Gohan Senior, like the overview of what's happening, like it allows the readers to paint the picture like of what happened, kind of like as if like they're having a flashback of what they read from the manga as well as from the original anime series.
Hmm.
Yeah, so like it does serves as an effective way of allowing them to paint a picture like as Goku like regales it to like of his adventures.
True.
Which, if you ask me, if anyone like does decide to actually like make a fan manga like of Dragon Ball Gine, like that can actually work, and like the panels like can be like formatted in the form of a kaleidoscope.
It's gonna be one of those huge undertakings though,
Hmm.
since it's already up to like 79 chapters.
Which will actually have the hypothetical like fan manga team will have enough to adapt from like from prose to sequential art.
True.
Well, and well, besides the clicky dialogue, like what other like caveats like have you noticed? Like in Dragon Ball Gine, at least at least like from the early chapters.
It it kind of it's I don't know. I'm kind of used to it to where it's like at the beginning it can start off a bit slow, and then you read through it and it gets better in like the later chapters. It can kind of be one of those. But the part that does hook it is the fact that it starts with Bardock and it puts you right into the action of just before planet Frieza explodes.
You mean Planet Vegeta?
Planet Vegeta. Vegeta.
It's all good. Yeah, yeah. The first chapter, which is the prologue, like it does an effective job of hooking the readers in because, well, an important rule, well, like for like any writers, like regardless if they're doing original work or fan work, like in written form, well, like you want to immediately hook the readers like by the first page.
True.
Yeah,
Hook,
yeah,
introduce characters, introduce setting, and then every time you're at a new location, you're introducing literally a new setting.
mm-hmm. Well, that's also now the caveat of that is that once you introduce like new characters in a setting, then like you don't want to lose focus, right? Especially if you're world building.
Yeah, that can be pretty easy to do.
Well, at least with Gine. Hmm.
Hello?
Yeah, still here. But what I was saying earlier, like at least with Dragon Ball Gine, like we know the setting of Dragon Ball. Well, but of course, because like this is an alternate universe like things we are treading with familiar ground. Well, but it does make you wonder, like, oh, what differences like does this alternate universe have from the main series?
It also helps that the storyline is you're learning more about the world with Gine instead of already knowing about it and being so familiar with it. It's like reading a book in the middle of the series because there are also a lot of readers where they would just know the concept of something, but they don't know about the whole lore of it, which is actually kind of me because it's like I watched Dragon Ball Z. I hadn't watched Dragon Ball in long time, but
Hmm.
I am still familiar with most of Toriyama's work because I liked watching the Dragon Ball stuff.
As I now that is an effective transition point because one of the other strengths of like Dragon Ball Gine from Existence Theory is how it's very friendly to people, you know, who are not huge fans of Toriyama, but that doesn't mean like they don't like him. You know, but is they don't follow they don't follow like his materials like 24/7.
Yeah, kind of like casual.
Yeah, yeah, like it treats like the casuals and longtime fans like of Dragon Ball Gino with respect.
And I know the thing's doing pretty good because when I read some of the comments, the readers were talking directly with the author. Some of them, oh, this is kind of fun. They would have conversations with the book.
Yeah, I remember encountering that too when I first stumbled upon Dragon Ball Gine. You know, oftentimes like whenever like that does happen, you know, like the author would actually showcase like is like the conversations that stood out to him or her or or them like if it's a collaborative team effort. No, but no, but the interactions that
Dog?
I had to mute my mic temporarily. Only the dogs I'm watching, something caught their attention.
Okay. I don't worry, that happens a lot.
Well, long story short, like they're just being protective. Well, I was saying earlier, yeah, I noticed that too with not just DA, but also with other quality fan works. So where the yeah, where the readers are engaging directly with the author as well as the text. So, like, and oftentimes, it was like the author or authors they would actually post the responses like from the readers. It was like at the
Hmm.
beginning of the chapter.
Hmm.
Yeah, but other times where the author like is engaging like with the readers like in the comments section, like it actually no it occurred. Oh man, almost got tongue tied. Like it helps increase like with the fan works readability.
Hmm.
Yeah, originally, we were gonna read chapters 13 through 15, after the chapter Terrible Tamarine. Well, next time for our FanWorks book club of eventually covering like closing in closing in to like summoning Shenron.
Oh,
Oh, sure.
that's gonna be quite an adventure.
Oh yeah. Well, not just that, but also like eventually reading the fight between Gine and King Piccolo instead of Goku versus King Piccolo.
Oh, and we might meet Bardock.
Yeah, yeah, there is definitely that. Which actually that will be encountered in chapter 21, confronting the past. What? Honestly, well, for those who are curious of like when does Dragon Ball Z starts, let's just let's just say it will begin at chapter 30, Raditz. Right, which what? No, actually, it's the reunion. The reunion started with chapter 29, which
Mhm.
is which is the beginning of the Dragon Ball Z saga.
Oh yeah, and right along the time when Chi Chi tried to remind Gohan about their marriage proposal. So I think the anime did it though I think the fanfic did a lot different.
Well, yeah, well, I'm not gonna say too much because like I want you and the others to experience it firsthand. But let's just say with Goku, as I noticed, like I was like, in reading like exist in Dragon Ball Gine before like introducing the fan work to you and everybody. Existing theory is like is keeping Goku's like characterization before Super, where he's where he's portrayed as a competent fighter as well as an intelligent one. In other words, like he would not be turning Goku into a meathead like what Super had done, a dumb meathead.
I do find that part in Dragon Ball Super to be really stupid. Which, yes, I know playing on Goku's kind of ignorance is funny because he can be that stupid, but he's also smart.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Granted, he's kind of like a kid on ADHD, but smart.
right, and yeah. Well, he can be like ignorant in areas, naive even, but it doesn't mean he's stupid.
Now, the one time I could probably see that kind of stupidity working off on a comedy level was if they actually had him to go to a black tie event and they were a bunch of customs, probably the exact opposite of what he normally does. I mean, could you see him trying to be dainty at a British tea party?
Oh, two words. Hilarity ensues.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. A consistent critique that people have with Super, like even with like Toriyama's like involvement. I mean, it plays things too safe. Not to mention like it led to the flanderization like of characters, not just Goku. Because at least like with GT, it's not only treated, but it is still canon as it is a continuation like of the series. There's like from the manga as well as the original anime adaptation. Like Goku like was not written as an idiot. Like he is shown to be like older, wiser, like and intelligent.
It kind of did like it when they showed how Gohan got to have his family moments. It's got some wholesome slice of life stuff to it, at
Oh, very
least.
much. Yeah, and to the relief for like anyone wondering of how far Gine will cover, they can be relieved that a Super will not be covered in the fan work.
Hmm.
I think things will lead to GT as well as other expanded material.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that when Super actually wouldn't work, I don't think Super would have worked in Dragon Ball Gine.
It wouldn't.
That's a relief because I need work, and Super is not hiring.
Now I can see now I can see characters and story I can see character and storylines like fit into Gine. Yeah, of course, like it will not go exactly as the same as the material, because obviously, Ono Super, like it had potential, but it ended up being wasted, and not to mention it ended up hurting like the characters. It was like in the long term. What is there everything all right with you, Mr. Announcer? Because you've been away for some time.
I had to drink my coffee.
Are you now energized or re-energized?
As energized as how many episodes it takes for me to transform.
Well, we appreciate your honesty.
One thing I will add is I'm quite perplexed that Kakarot is not acting like his traditional Saiyan brethren.
Well, no, because he was raised on Earth by both his mom and Gohan Senior.
You would think that his heritage would take more precedence, now that his mom is more in his life.
Takes more after his mother in the genetics department.
Mm-hmm.
You would have probably had that if it was Bardock on there instead of Gine, but good grief, I think he'd probably get his butt kicked and then he'd wonder what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
I only
Considering
say this
Dragon
just
Ball used to
because
focus more on
I believe
beating
Wolf.
overpowered opponents with like wits or some type of weakness.
Mm-hmm.
I see your point, but
Well,
I
also,
think that he would act more Saiyan-like than Earth-like. As
well,
Wolf would have put it if he had written the story of Superman's mother traveling to Earth, Superman would act more like his Kryptonian heritage than his earthly counterpart.
Which version,
That's not to
though?
say that Superman will be more of a different Superman. I do believe that he will still have his moral compass
I
because
would
the
argue.
House of L has such similar thought processes as the Kents.
I would argue like if anyone like actually does like a full rewrite like of say of the DC universe, whereas that doesn't have like any of the nonsense that happened to it as well as the characters years later. Or if Lara, like Clark's mom, well, like did end up like traveling to Earth or like with Clark. I would say like his characterization like would be a mix of his main universe counterpart as well as well as as well as go as well as Kakarot like in Dragon Ball Gine. You know, where he is well even though like he is born he well no, he was raised on Earth, or like he is aware like of his heritage.
I don't think it would be probably that different because
Exactly.
the Kryptonians were basically just superpowered people.
One powered out under a yellow sun.
And you have to look at which version because I think the ones that would really fit the bill would have been like the DCAU, the ones from the New 52 would end up being a lot more alien because they liked trying to do what the thrillers do and you have a story. Let's just take the tension and ramp it up to 50.
Mm-hmm.
That decision, do you do it or no? And the answer is eat both the red and the blue, turn it purple.
Yeah. You know, with Superman, yeah, he's a human alien.
I'm
But
sorry,
he is
I made no sense earlier. I was thinking about that red and blue meme.
Red versus Blue. Such a great series that went downhill over the years.
And
I
it's a
would say that I would say that had we went with Wolf's idea, he can guarantee everybody that the Kryptonians will not be space eugenicists.
well as modern as some modern writers want to paint them as be it in the comics or in other media, because it's not only a mischaracterization like of the Kryptonians,
It's also
but it's
stupid.
also it goes against what has been established about them as well as their overall character.
And the truth, justice, and the American way kind of got in there, kind of like how Harley Quinn got in there from the DC
Animated series.
animated universe, because the radio show is really good, and it even shows Superman does abuse his powers like most teenagers would.
Hmm. I mean that's even shown in the Superboy comic book series, which also later on features the Legion of Superheroes because he did join the team, like as a teenager, and they also like mentored him because like he among others were major inspirations for the Legion. At the
Yeah,
time,
lots of
They
people
say
love the
Wolf
werewolf
goes
guy
off
in that,
topic too
in I
much.
think the Super Legion cartoon from the 2000s.
to tie this all back to Dragon Ball Gine because Gine survival like does set off a butterfly effect like in this alternate universe of the Dragon Ball series. Whereas Goku like is aware like of his heritage like through his mom. Well, but as you mentioned earlier, like he possesses her compassion and sense of morality. But it also be thanks to the survival of Gohan Senior, like he's more aware. He's more aware of earthly customs and not so ignorant of it.
And he also had to help Gine try to navigate basically the loss of an entire home planet, husband, not knowing what happened to her older kid, and then we got to throw her into the crowds at the tournament arc.
Yeah, yeah, it's her.
Did
And I
love how she met her future daughter-in-law.
yeah, that remains one of my favorite moments from Gine. Also, it's thanks to let's do her and Gohan. See, like they gave Goku like, an explanation like of the wedding, of the marriage proposal that little Chi Chi gave to Goku.
And literally had to go back to Chi Chi's place to explain it.
Hmm.
Also mellowed her out a bit.
Yeah, which actually it foreshadows what happens to her like once we do get into the Dragon Ball Z side of Gine. Yeah, because like her like melting it out while she was still young, like during the Dragon Ball era, like that is one of the many butterflies was born from this change.
I wonder what Gine thought about the great eternal dragon.
Well, she didn't. Well, even though like she did not like meet Shenron because like her and Gohan seemed like were regaled, like of like Goku's like adventures like after him and Bulma left. But she does eventually encounter Shenron like in chapter 15, in which originally we were going to cover, like since we all read like chapter 12, Terrible Tambourine. However, 13 through 15 like will be saved like later on this year when we do cover those three chapters.
Hmm.
Although for you, Marty, you read ahead, yeah, because like you were talking about like Goku and the others encounters with the pirates, right? Like even though like before, where we were actually covering 9 through 12. Wait, no, not 9 through 12, 10 through 12. So because we cover cover like the fan works in 3 chapters
Mm.
each. So you went ahead. What? There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, a little bit. I had to skim it because I was studying for a bunch of tests with my on the job training.
Oh, all right. Well, I'm sure. Well, hopefully that went well. And and our fearless leader has posted the link to Dragon Ball Gine, and uh, you can actually also find the fan work on Archive of Our Own. No, and I do, and also I want to just to reiterate that yes, I was like, what this fan work it goes to like the other entries of the Dragon Ball series, and even though Super would not be adapted as it is, few to some aspects like characters and storylines will be featured, but not exactly like as they are, or like due to the events like of this alternate universe.
Now I'm thinking of an animation work of Gine taking on the Red Ribbon Army.
You know, like before you came back, like Marty and I, we were actually having a conversation of what would a fan manga of Dragon Ball Gine would look like. But now you bring up animation, that also will be quite the task.
I mean, just her going Mama Bear on an entire army. That would be quite something. In fact, I'll do it. I'll take it even further than that. She'd probably go Super Saiyan during that clash.
Well, the Red Ribbon Army are one of the more memorable members of the Rogues Gallery.
One thing I
Yeah,
will say is that this story sacrifices the Journey to the West inspiration just to tell the story, which is not at all a bad thing, but it also does kind of stifles its creation. Though without that limitation, the writer does experiment a lot. And
Mm-hmm.
a lot of thought they have.
Mm-hmm.
indeed, yes. Well, what we, well, characters will elaborate more on that. What are the strengths of Dragon Ball Gine, and what areas could the writer improve?
Well, he was a beginning writer in the first 3 chapters, so of course he's going to have some grammar mistakes and some spell errors. But I'm sure he's well aware of it, so we won't comment on that. That is a given.
Very much. What about the developments like of the plot of Gine?
Well, it's slice of life, so it doesn't really go anywhere. It's not really as adventurous as one would want to imagine. But once again, this is about Goku's mother, not Goku himself.
Well, since you brought up like the action and adventure, like it does get picked up in chapter 6. There's with the 22nd like Tenkaichi Budokai.
Exactly. That is a fair warning to any future viewers that want to read this story. Don't go in there expecting the same story as the
Well,
show or the manga.
duh. It's an alternate universe fair one. What's the point of like having the events like happen again like in fan work?
What I'm saying is, it's told in the perspective of his mother, so we're only following her.
True. In this case, it's third person limited. Well, at least with the first 5 chapters, like it helps to set up the groundwork for Gine and its overall narrative. Well,
Not
well,
much
what?
more to say about this story. It's just well written and well researched and well thought
Mhm.
out.
This is made by like a Dragon Ball series fan, and because of the way it was written, and like it can honestly fit into the overall work.
I can almost imagine Toriyama actually taking this product and turning it into an OVA. Though it will not be the same, probably not in good quality either.
True.
We could say a lot of
And
things
then you
about
have to get that
work
thing
of
past the shareholders, the censors, and all those committees.
I'm also pretty sure that this story is also a bit family friendly in some areas, so we were not going to get the infamous panty incident
Probably not.
unless Gine was sleeping on the job as mother.
Nah. What if you want to like see like the regular like violence and otherwise, besides including the action that makes up of the Dragon Ball series in its entirety. Like if an OVA series like does occur for a game, it would not skimp out on that at all.
Of course not. It's just that Goku will not be in silly adult situations, not when his mother's around. She would not.
And
Hmm.
and Gohan, let's not forget Grandpa Gohan because like he did like take out the role of the father because Bardock is long since died.
Hmm.
Well, what's so far like what are what are each of your guys' like favorite moments from Gine based on the first 12 chapters?
I just like her interaction with Grandpa Gohan.
That remains one of my favorite moments too.
I'm
And,
quite fond of when she blew up the kitchen.
yeah, even though she is actually a decent cook,
True.
but she's on Earth and like
New
things are
new
not like kind of Vegeta.
neighborhood, new gadgets, or in this case, new way to go boom.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, she is fish out of water, so like at least she immediately like picks it up. Oh, that like how things are handled here on Earth, especially in terms of cooking. I mean, it's not the same. And like
And how
she
they
does have the
used
assistance. She does have
sunglasses
the
during the
assistance
full moon
with Gohan
incident.
Senior.
And when they used the sunglasses for the full moon incident.
Yes, which is actually smart. And that actually does play on during like Goku's regaling of his and Bulma's adventures. Whereas like where
Hmm.
he went to like Ozaru like when they were captured by the Red Ribbon Army. Or where he willingly took off the glasses so he and the others can escape. Which of
Hmm.
course like for those like who know what happened in the source material, like when he ran Ozaru, he lost his tail. But in this case is with young Kakarot, like he was nervous about how his mom would react. But to his relief like she was glad that him and the others I was like I got out of there alive as well as facing off like one of his major villains. In this case, a team of villains. Well, elaborate, announcer. Also, what is it about the interaction between Gine and Gohan Senior do you like?
It's almost like they became fast friends, while at the same time being a daughter-in-law with a father-in-law. Though it did border on a teensy bit of a slight romantic, maybe.
Nah, that's more like a mentor and student relationship. Because
Hey,
I mean, from the dial,
student romances too.
yes, but in this case, it was like through their interactions, yeah, like they have a good chemistry, but like it doesn't hit like other friendship becoming more than that. Like, 'cause, like I wouldn't even imagine as like if someone like made a comment, they would wince and cringe.
Maybe that's just my dirty mind.
Yes, most likely. And do I need to take out the spray bottle?
Then again, this is Grandpa Gohan and not
It's
Master
not
Roshi.
Master Roshi.
Now I'm still wondering what would that be like if her interaction with Master Roshi would be more than just master and student.
You ever seen the sitcom when the boyfriend shows up on the motorcycle and the dad is cleaning his gun on the front porch?
Yes.
Master Roshi is the guy on the motorcycle.
Oh boy, I can imagine Grandpa.
And the ones that are being protected are the girls he shows up with.
I can imagine Grandpa Gohan doing that for Gine towards Roshi.
Well, let's just say, with Gine around, well, like she teaches him how to better control himself.
Hmm.
I don't think he needed that. I don't think he needed that at all. You can't change Master Roshi.
Hey, he can restrain himself, and
He
yeah,
always restrained himself.
and that's consistent because with with the character archetype that Master Roshi represents, he's a chivalrous pervert archetype. But like, and another example of that is Moroku, of Inuyasha by Rumiko Takahashi.
I don't know about that. At least Master Roshi keeps his hands to himself.
And Moroku keeps his hands to himself as well. Well, but you actually don't know the reason on why he acts the way he does like in public, but
Hmm.
because of what happened to his family, only due to Naraku's actions.
I
So
don't think
with
we watched the same anime. I do recall him never keeping his hands to himself.
no, I no I no I've read the same series as well as watching the same adaptation. Like, yeah, I've seen it happen before, but he still has standards.
Of course he does. He just don't keeps it. He just don't keep his hands to himself.
Plus he is still a monk. Oh, well, with Master Roshi, first of all, he is what he does like me Gina. He is impressed by her prowess like as a martial artist. Because with her, she's a pacifist of the martial arts variety. Because even though like one's a pacifist, it does not make him or her passive. There's a difference.
Of course, most people don't understand that. Most people,
Yeah,
especially especially self-proclaimed pacifists, don't understand that.
yes, because with pacifism, you can still defend yourself and others. In other words, you're not abstain from fighting.
Self-proclaimed pacifists, what do they know? They confuse cowardice with pacifism.
Mm.
Yeah, and if any of them like say that to Gine, they'll be in the hospital in body casts.
Oh,
The
yeah.
trick is that to write a pacifist, is to write a person who has a whole lot of restraint within their power to not attack the foe. They've always given them a chance for an out,
Mm-hmm.
but will not turn a blind eye or stand idly by to injustice.
Very
The
much
most
so.
extreme, anime-wise, the most extreme version of that was Relina Peacecraft, who didn't even try to use violence. The other side of that would have been probably from the 2011 Thundercats cartoon with the meditating elephant people,
Oh
who
yeah, I remember those guys.
waited until the right time to shake everyone's stuff up.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, yes.
And did it with a smile on their face. I don't know if some people would have found that scary or would have found that endearing.
I would have found it badass.
AKA option 3. Well, also one of my favorite moments there from Dragon Ball Gine is the fight between Kakarot and Tien.
Now, you brought up Relina. It's not the fact that she's a pacifist that's the problem. Her problem was that she preaches too much and
Yes,
don't practice what she preaches.
she doesn't
Let's
walk the
also
walk.
face the fact that she is a kid and her reasoning to go to extremes, even when she was in direct danger, no wonder Hiro had to save her butt.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
no. One thing I loved about Relina that the show immediately dropped so fast was the fact that she was willing to bend her stance on pacifism if it meant taking action to protect someone.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't give her like a different skill related to that, like Okay, negotiation would have been like talking heads, and that wouldn't have been good for an action anime. But she could have been into military logistics.
Mr. Hate, this is not the Wolf Commander. This is the Dragon Ball announcer.
That's okay. Miss Peacecraft always had a way of ruffling feathers.
It is the symptom and the sin of writing a character so complex that you later fail to understand in the middle of your story that they become a contradiction and a hypocrite.
Mm-hmm.
I just remember
And
her for
poor
her
Relina was one of
eyebrows.
them.
Okay, that's kind of pushing it too far in my end there.
What do you mean, Humble?
One of the reasons I remember Relina Peacecraft is because, well, not only was she like the damsel in distress that didn't scream a lot, she also had very impressive eyebrows.
You mean Dorothy Ann?
Well, if her eyebrows could fly and she had flying powers, that would have been quite interesting. But then we'd be going into Bobobo territory.
Well, this is relevant because Kirby Moreau, the voice of Goku, was also in Gundam Wing, formerly Troa Barton. And I wonder what they're going to do with Troa Barton now that they're going to do another take on Gundam Wing.
Is that so?
Again?
Yes, for one of their anniversaries, they're doing a remaster, or at best, a reanimation of Gundam Wing. You
Wow.
could say it's a reboot. You could say it's a continuation with crispier animation.
Well, if anyone wanted to look up something Gunpla and interesting, someone had taken Gunpla character and stuck it in a sparkly dress.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Wow.
You explore.
If Pretty Cure had their own giant robots.
You seem to
Huh,
explore strange things, Humble Marty.
indeed.
Let's just say I turned off a lot of hashtags on my Twitter timeline.
Well,
Interesting.
hmm. Well, for the better.
Speaking of
Alright.
Corporal McGrow, rest in peace.
I
He was
know, right?
our king of Philanelia, Von Philanelia. Wow, I cannot say his last name correctly.
And of course, people will remember him as Goku.
And that's that piece of shit. What was his name again?
Sean
That
Schimmel?
no, that one guy in Blue Gender.
Oh, that guy.
What's his name? Rick.
Rick.
That piece of shit, Rick. Well, he was not a piece of shit. He was just an okay guy. He just had nothing going for him except for dumb and hardy. Or maybe he wasn't dumb, but he was definitely hardy.
Indeed. And don't worry, Hate. And hopefully, only we will see the rest of Gundam the Origin be fully animated.
Now, mind you, he did not voice Rick in the series. He only voiced him in the movie The Warrior. At least that's why I remember. It's been a long time since I watched The Warrior.
Well, gotta get back to getting back to Gine. As I was saying earlier, one of my favorite moments, of the fan work is the fight between Kakarot and Tien. What caught my attention in the beginning, once Gine and the others found their spots on the tournament, she was Gine was actually experiencing was akin to of a panic attack.
Mm-hmm.
Because just seeing how crowded the stadium was, it reminded her of Planet Vegeta, which led to Frieza destroying everything and everyone, and it took to Gohan to calm her down via telepathy, reassuring her that Frieza is not on Earth and that she and Kakarot are safe.
Cue the anxiety.
Mm-hmm. Also PTSD.
Emotional damage. There's a lot of dead air, guys. You might want to keep speaking.
Well, eventually once the fight between Kakarot and Tien commences, the author does a great job of giving the readers a visualization of what was occurring, or as if they are watching or reading the manga again. Yeah, because because he was able to give the readers a clear painting of the fight between the two.
True.
At the same time, through through the right through the existing theories penmanship, he reminded our readers of how much of a hole Tien's master Crane is.
Oh,
Oh, I wanted to
definitely.
punch him in the face too.
Luckily, Gine broke his wrist.
Yes, yes, she did.
She should have broke more than that.
No, she's not.
That would be
She's not that
overkill.
type of person. Yes.
Just saying, from where she comes from, there's no kill like overkill.
Yeah, but
That's
she
there's
has more
still such thing as
compassion.
overkill.
Yeah, but she has more compassion than most of her peers.
That is true. but I think we should end it right here. It's been 1 hour, and I'm sure you covered some ground while I was away.
Yes, yes, we have. Yeah, overall, what we can say about Dragon Ball Gine by existing theory is, if you're a fan or casual of Dragon Ball series, give it a read. It is worth your time. How about you, Marty? What is your overall critique, and do you or do you not recommend Dragon Ball Gine to people,
I'd recommend it. I mean,
Mr. Announcer? Oh, actually, okay, go ahead. You finish, and then we move on to Mr. Announcer.
okay, Mr. Announcer, you're a 411 on the skinny.
Why do I need to read it? I've already told the greatest story of all time, Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z.
It is true.
I've more
You
than
are.
paid my dues. Trust me. There's no
Oh,
need to talk about retelling. But for those who want to know a different side of a story, I will endorse this story. It has my stamp of improvement.
good
Nice.
to hear. All right. Well, would you like to do the outro?
Tune in next time for this Tuesday, which is tomorrow, where the Wolf Commander is going to cover another beloved mech series known as Vendread, where girls were girls and boys were boys, and they
Indeed.
did not get along until they came together against a common foe. We will not speak on what this foe is until Tuesday. So tune in for Anime Spotlight with the Wolf Commander and his crew as they talk about Vandred, who also had, I believe, Kirby Moreau voicing a character on there at one point. And it also had Frieza.
We got some Dragon Ball alumni in Vandred.
Ooh,
Quite
nice.
a lot. Or maybe a few. But they're still recognizable voices.
Even if they are different, which is the job of a voice actor.
I wonder if Cell is also among that cast. Before he became Cell.
Well, we just had to wait and see. See, for
Or
any of us who are watching Vandred for the first time, or rewatching it after a period.
and to all your youngins, I do advise that you do track down old anime. You may be surprised at some familiar voices have voiced these characters long past.
You'll be surprised of how deep the rabbit hole goes.
Hmm.
With that being said, we'd like to thank you for being here, everyone. I'm sure the Wolf Commander could attend and have fun with us, but he had to be predisposed. Though I was here to take his spot. You did nothing. I talked mostly through this whole stream. Where were you? I was making popcorn.
Dun, da, da, da.
Are you gonna share?
You want
Are you gonna share that bowl of popcorn with everyone?
no. It is my popcorn. Go make your own. This is why I live with everyone. He is so rude. Well, mister, I have my own popcorn. Why don't you contribute? We have here the Hound of the South, Dominic Powell.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us in tonight's episode of the Real Millennials of Fanwork Book Club. And tune in, and the next time we will be covering Dragon Ball Gine's chapters 13 to 15, but in the next month instead of today, and of this week, depending on how things are between me, the Wolf Commander, as well as the rest of the crew. This coming Thursday's episode of the Real Millennials, we'll be talking about listening to our favorite bands and musicians on the radio, going over, especially like going over with what the radio stations were like before and they entered the dark ages. But until then, this is the Hound of the South, Dominic Powell, signing off. Hope you all have a good rest of your night, and remember, keep up the good fight and maintain hope, idealism, and optimism alive in the world, because cynicism and nihilism are for losers.
I think you need to rethink on your position on how you announce your episodes for the Real Millennials.
Yeah, I did say until further notice.
I mean, the titling of your topics. I think you need to condense them a little bit. He is such a sourpuss. Pay him no mind, Dom.
Thank you, Mr. Announcer.
And we have the humblest of writers, Humble Marty.
Hello, I'm Humble Marty, and I write things. Nice for you to come and listen to us today, and hope to catch you on the rewatch.
It was my pleasure. And you are a great storyteller yourself, Humble Marty.
I got a few books on Amazon.
That is correct, everyone. Search her as who again?
Just stick Humble Marty in the search bar, and most of my stuff will come up.
They're fun reads, people. Give them buy them, and put them in your library.
I've got one unicorn adventure story in space. One book that is basically a kid whose dad is Mall Santa, and that's about it for right now.
She's underselling her stuff.
Well, I've also got a Thanksgiving story that's completely for free on Royal Road of a badass lunch lady versus a bunch of little dinosaurs. They become turkey dinner.
Nice.
Little pony lovers, definitely go check out The Adventures of Corkhorn, written by Humble Marty. This has been your announcer today. Stay tuned for the next time of Wolf Commander and his UN Spacey Ramble.